Jai Sadgurudeo. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the weekly English Satsang organized by North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga. My name is Neetu and I have joined this Satsang from Edison, New Jersey. In today's times, our daily lives are increasingly occupied with meeting our physical and mental needs along with our social responsibilities. Amid this fast-paced routine, the deeper needs of the soul are often overlooked. I would therefore like to sincerely congratulate each one of you for setting aside time from your busy schedules to nurture your inner self through satsang. We now transition to the next phase of our satsang, Vihangam Yoga Fundamentals. This is a classroom-style interactive session designed to deepen our understanding and strengthen our confidence in sharing the profound teachings of Vihangam Yoga. By participating wholeheartedly in Sunday satsangs, we can collectively build a stronger, more confident NAIVY Samaj. Let us come together with open hearts and receptive minds to learn, grow, and inspire one another. Our speaker for today is Dr. Subhash Chandra ji, a sincere disciple of Sadgurudeo who continually inspires us through his knowledge, seva, and devotion. Many of us have had the privilege of listening to Subhash ji in previous satsangs and benefiting from his deep spiritual insights. I now invite Subhash ji to share his perspective on what is vibration in Vihangam Yoga meditation. Over to you, Subhash ji.
Thank you, Neetu ji, and Jai Sadgurudeo to all. My prayer in the holy feet of Sadgurudeo. Akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam tadpadam darshitam yena tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. So I welcome you all once again to this session of our weekly English satsang, and thank you all for giving me the privilege of sharing some insights into the events or the happenings during meditation. See, once again, these events or what happens cannot be explained at the level of intellect. Only an experienced sadhak who has experienced it, realized it in the depth of the meditation with the blessings of Sadgurudeo, only he or she can give its true perspective. What I'm about to talk about today is an intellect-based understanding. So those esteemed Guru Bhai, Guru Bahan who are present here, if you find any fault in my expression, understanding, please feel free to correct me there and then. As Neetuji said, this is a classroom style where we learn from each other. So if I make any mistake, please feel free to correct it there and then. So what is meant by vibration? I remember the first time I heard this word, and like a person with normal day-to-day intellect, something knowing about physics, When we hear the word vibration, we often think of frequency or a measurable energy. Ayurveda also speaks of vibration, but not in the language of instruments. It speaks in the language of consciousness and lived experience. Now, vibration in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual realm, means movement, rhythm, or a spandan. It is sign of life and manifestation. Nothing that is alive is static. And in the outer world, vibration appears as sound, breath, heat, heartbeat, and motion. But in the inner world, it appears as a subtle movement of awareness when the mind becomes quiet. These sessions are deep dive, but I always use day-to-day examples for the newcomers to understand, for me to understand. So once again, I will recourse to my day-to-day example. You may never hear a ticking in a busy railway station, but ticking of the clock is always there, but it is drowned out by the noise. When the room becomes quiet, the ticking suddenly becomes obvious. So vibration is not newly created in meditation. It is the silence which reveals what was already present. When scriptures say everything is vibration, they are pointing to this truth. So nothing in creation is frozen or dead. All manifestations exist through movement. Next question that comes to the mind, where does vibration originate? Ayurveda is very clear, and we are all blessed to be a member of Vihangam Yoga under the blessings of Sadgurudeo. The clarity Ayurveda provides is beyond intellect. You have to be at a level where there is no noise for it to realize it. So Ayurveda is very clear that vibration does not originate from the gross matter. Creation does not begin with objects. It begins with the movement imparted to Prakriti. स्पंदन से सृष्टि प्रकटे, स्पंदन से लय जाए. स्पंदन से सृष्टि प्रकटे, स्पंदन से लय जाए. What does it mean? From vibration, creation manifests, and through vibration, dissolution occurs. So according to Ayurveda, Akshar Brahm is the primordial principle. Shabd is the operating vibratory command. Now, Prakriti unfolds only when vibration, kamp or spandan, is imparted. So the vibration is in the Akshar Brahma, which causes revolution of the creation. And the Akshar appears in the beginning of the creation. Let's say there is an army. Let's take an example of army and the command. An army stands fully prepared. Soldiers, weapons, discipline, all present, yet nothing happens. Until a single command is given and instantly movement, order, and action begins. So Prakriti is the army. Shabd is the command. Akshar Brahm is the commander. So creation is not built, it is commanded into motion. Without vibration, Prakriti remains inert, present but unmanifest. So, what is the purpose of vibration in creation or in Prakriti? Vibration is the engine of manifestation. It sustains form, function, and change. See, if you look at a city at night, it looks intact during a blackout. So let's say the power grid of a city has failed, the same bright city. And when the power grid fails, there is a blackout. Building, roads, and people, they are still there, but nothing seems to function. When power flows again, the city becomes alive. So creation does not disappear when vibration withdraws, it becomes unmanifest. जहां स्पंदन थमे वहीं आत्म स्वरूप प्रकटे. जहां स्पंदन थमे वहीं आत्म स्वरूप प्रकटे. Where vibration ceases, the nature of the soul reveals itself. So vibration belongs to manifestation and stillness belongs to realization. Now, when we talk about vibration during meditation, different practitioners experience it differently. Gentle pulsation, sense of flow, rhythm, inner hum, subtle sound. All this happens not because something new has begun, but because mental noise has reduced. When a fan spins very fast, you see only a blur. As it slows, individual blades become visible. But when it stops, there is silence. So a fast mind hides the vibration, a quieter mind reveals it, and a still mind transcends it. So in meditation, the vibration is not an imagination. It is not a physical energy. It is not produced by effort. And it is certainly not a sign of a spiritual superiority. It is simply a marker of inward transition. So then how vibration arises? Vibration appears when awareness withdraws from the external objects, thoughts reduce, and identification with the body-mind loosens. So it arises from stillness, not from excitement. When you are at the airport, conveyor belt, you stand still. Yet suddenly you feel the movement because the belt beneath you is moving. You are not walking, the ground is. So the soul is still. Prakriti moves And meditation reveals this distinction, this distinction. It is only with meditation you can get this distinction. And practically speaking, sometimes you have to focus on the conveyor belt to realize, oh yes, this is moving, or something is moving, which is not my body. Why some people would say it is important? Because vibration serves as a bridge. It is not a destination. Vibration helps with disidentification. In the process of meditation, it helps the realization that I am not the body or the thoughts. Attention moves beyond the senses. As we talk about the first stage of meditation, attention moves beyond the senses and shifts from gross into subtle perception. So that is what is the purpose, why it is important. And as I said, vibration can manifest in multiple different ways. So vibration is a movement between states. Remember, it is not any kind of attainment. You feel vibration when the elevator starts or stops, but not when you have arrived. When you arrive at the destination, there is stillness. So by the teachings of Svarveda, we know that Prakriti vibrates, Akshar Brahm initiates vibration, and the soul witnesses vibration. स्पंदन दृश्य है, drashta achal. Vibration is the scene and the witness remains unmoving. Another example comes to my mind, and I believe it is relatable. Like the cinema screen. The screen, white screen is always there inside the cinema. The image moves, sounds vibrate, stories unfold one day after the other, 1 2 hour session to another, but the screen remains untouched. So the vibration belongs to the moving, the Prakriti, not the screen, the Atma. Us as a human being, we don't know we have vibration, which I explained from multiple different, which I tried to explain from multiple different examples in that context. Sarveda says, तुम में भी यह कंप है, तुम नहीं जानत सोए, कंप कहाँ से होत है, समझत गुरु गम कोय. So we all have it. We all have that vibration. In lack of meditation, in lack of seva or Sadguru's blessing, tum nahi janat soy. You don't realize that vibration is there. So let's look at the vibration at the operational level. We talk about Shabda in Vihangam Yoga. And whenever I used to hear it, it is always about sound. You know, when the words in this real, in so-called real grammatical literature word, in the world of literature, Shabd makes one think of sound. But Shabd is not an audible sound. It is the organizing, vibratory command of consciousness. So, for example, a computer behavior changes by altering software, not the hardware, by the code. So Sabd is the code through which matter behaves. We all know that Akshar Brahm is the creator, the preserver, and the annihilator of the universe. Through what? Through it all pervading vibratory sound. And audible inner sounds during meditation are milestones. They are not destinations. As excuse me, as meditation matures and mind and prana dissolve into their origin, that is Akshar Brahm, vibration subsides. Awareness rests in the silent presence. Just as river makes noise and moves constantly, the ocean, the stillness, the ocean is silent, still. So the journey involves the movement, but the destination is the stillness. कशा आदि अडोल है, कंप नहीं है ताही, जग में अक्षर कंप है, अनुभव दर्शन माही. So we are here talking about the Param Purush, Kasha Adi Adol hai. There is no vibration in it. Kamp nahi hai tahi. It is the reason why Akshar, it is the reason, it is the force by which Akshar creates Kamp. So Surveda gives a clear warning because many stop at the sound and vibration and mistake them for realization. We must not do that. See, as long as the wheel spins, forms can be shaped. When it stops, no new form is created. So creation vibrates, consciousness witnesses, and liberation rests. Vibration is something we notice when the mind becomes quiet. It is not produced by effort. In the inner world, consciousness is not static. It is alive and dynamic. We as human beings, we live outside in most of the time. And what vibration does, it helps us move inside out. In meditation, we stop being noisy enough to miss it. So vibration appears when the soul is no longer fully identified with the body and mind. In other words, it is a byproduct of alignment, not the goal. So we have discussed again and again that vibration originates when awareness is withdrawn from external objects. Means when awareness becomes a steady and turned inward, as we keep saying, ardhar urat chale. When the mind becomes less active, and the thoughts reduces, the soul begins to notice its presence. It arises from stillness. And so this creates attunement, not excitement. Remember, the purpose of vibration is not enjoyment. As we discussed before, vibration acts like a bridge. As meditation matures, vibration naturally subsides and awareness rests in its silent presence. So, what is the purpose of vibration? As discussed, it helps the soul realize I am not the body or thoughts. Awareness becomes subtle enough to move beyond senses, and it marks the shift from gross perception to inner perception. Just like when a string instrument is tuned before the concert, the string vibrates during tuning. During the performance, the vibration becomes harmonious, but at rest, the instrument is silent. I hope this helps to understand that it begins from stillness. Vibration happens, awareness arises, and when it matures, once again there is effortless stillness. So what we see that vibration comes, vibration serves its purpose, and then vibration goes, and what remains is a stillness. Just like the fan. Once again, I'm using the example is that, see, when mind is fast, just like the fan is, there is no awareness. When the mind slows down, just like the fan, you notice the movement clearly of the fan, and when the mind slows, the vibration is noticed. When the fan stops, there is silence, and when the mind is still, there is again pure presence. Vibration is not something you chase. It is something that appears. When awareness matures, when mind quiets, its role is to shift us from sensory identity to soul awareness. Vibration is more or less like a signpost, not the destination. What it helps us with? To feel aligned. It refines awareness. It comes naturally. It comes naturally, serves quietly, and leaves gently. Remember, vibration is not an imagination. It is not an energy in the physical sense. It is not required for liberation. It is simply a sign that attention has shifted from gross to subtle. And the creation is not a static, and dissolution is not destruction. But dissolution is withdrawal of vibration into stillness. Again, it seems like it is physics and we can explain it with physics. But no, this is not physics. It is a cosmic process experienced by consciousness. अंतर्मुख अक्षर भया आश्रित पुरुष आधार धार कंप से हीन जग सारी सृष्टि संहार. Antarmukh, when you go inside, when the senses stop, your outward flow of energy stops. When the energy turns inwards, अंतर्मुख अक्षर भया आश्रित पुरुष आधार. Here we are talking about Param Purush, who guides Akshar, who dictates Akshar. Now, Dhar Kamp se heen jag. And when in this Srishti there is no vibration, Sari Srishti Sanghar. So creation is the movement, dissolution is withdrawal of movement. So when, in other words, when pranas are withdrawn, what ends? It's the life that ends. But vibration appears when awareness depends. And Swamiji says in Swarveda, तुम में भी यह कंप है, तू नहीं जानत सोए. You also have the vibration. It is the lack of stillness, lack of disengagement from your senses. So तुम में भी यह कंप है, तू नहीं जानत सोए. You are not aware of it. कंप कहाँ से होत है, समझत गुरुगम कोय. Now, according to Swarveda, let's talk about the end of vibration, which is most misunderstood part. But Swarveda is very precise. When consciousness reaches the Akshar Brahm, mind and pran dissolve in their origin. Vibration subside, but what remains? The awareness. Still the awareness remains. The soul rests in Akshar Brahm beyond sound, motion, and experience. So the vibration belongs to creation, not to the soul. Soul is the one that witnesses vibration during the inward journey and transcends it at realization. Vihangam Yoga does not ask us to chase vibration, as I said before. It asks us to move beyond vibration. That is it. I think time, we are crossing time. So that is it for today. And thank you all. Back to you, Neetu
Ji. Thank you so much, Subhash ji, for sharing your perspective on this subject with such great detail, citing relevant examples from daily life and from the couplets of divine Swarved, and the perspective that you have shared, shaped both by your spiritual practice and your professional insight, that has definitely helped us in getting a deeper understanding of this process of meditation. So I thank you once again on behalf of all of us. I would like to first ask if there is anyone who has joined this session for the first time. We warmly welcome you and ask that you please introduce yourself and let us know how you came to learn about this satsang. So if there are any new joinees in the satsang, you're welcome to give a brief introduction.
Hi, Jai Gurudev Maharaj, Hare Krishna. I'm Kritika and I've joined the session for the first time. It is through Mayaji that she added me to the group, and I was actually a part of another satsang. We do a Gurdwara ceremony satsang, and one of the attendees in the satsang was a part of this journey in meditation, and he introduced me to Mayaji. I had one session with Mayaji and she added me to the group. I had lot many questions so about going into the journey of meditation. I was naturally very attracted to how, where to seek God, and uh, I wanted to start my journey on meditation. So she introduced me to the journey, and I started with practicing uh, the Alom Vilom and then chanting of Om and Gayatri mantra 11 times. There's been 5 days, and I can see little calmness, a little change, a factor of stillness with this experience, and wanted to I wanted to check with her what is the next step. So she guided me to this group, and she said you join it every day and you'll get your answers, and you'll start on it will be onset of your journey into meditation. It was a nice experience overall. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kritika ji, for your introduction, and we welcome you to the Vihangam Yoga family. And we hope that you continue to attend these sessions and be benefited by the satsangs and your ongoing meditation. Thank you and welcome. I would like to ask if there is anyone else who has joined the satsang for the first time. We will have a brief introduction and then we will move to the Q&A session on today's topic.
Yes, Sadgurudeo Neetuji. Just a few moments I would like to take to welcome Kritika ji.
Jai Sadgurudev Maya ji.
Ji, okay to take 2 minutes?
Yes, sure, Maya ji. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Kritika ji, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Sadgurudeo. Very welcome to Vihangam Yoga Satsang. The people, the seeker like you, we really enjoy talking to during the satsang discussions and all. And please keep joining. I'm glad you for past 5 days you have been consistent and you see the difference. As long we are consistent in our practice, definitely there will be a shift in your focus, in your happiness, inner happiness, expansion of your awareness. So please be consistent, and I will definitely be in touch with you separately. Thank you so much again, and welcome again.
Thank you, Maya ji. So, if we do not have any other new joinees today, we can move to the next section, which is inviting anyone who has questions, reflections, or personal experiences aligned with today's discussion. I see Shikaji has raised her hand. Shikhaji, you want to say something, or is there someone who has joined the satsang?
Ji, Jai Sadgurudeo, everyone. I have a question, Neetu ji.
Ji, Jai Sadgurudev. Shikhaji, please go ahead.
It was very well explained by Subhashi. Thank you so much for such vivid explanation, Subhashi. But I have a couple of questions. You did mention in your talk that vibration is not the ultimate goal. Vibration is happening, and when the body becomes or when the mind starts to get still, we start to experience vibrations. So, my first question is uh, can this vibration be a distraction as well? Because when your mind quietens and if you begin to feel vibrations in different forms for different people, can that be a distraction in your meditation? Are and at one, that's my first question. And my second question is, and you did touch upon it briefly, but I want you to explain it a little further if you can. At what stage does vibration, while it is still there, begins to quieten and you start to move on? What is to be expected in your sadhana then?
Yes, sure. Jai Sadgurudev Sikhaji. That is something that comes to our mind very often. Your question is vibration or can vibration be a distraction? It will be if you start enjoying it. There are people who starts enjoying the vibration. So vibration is transient to help you move, transition from senses to inward. That is it. And when there is a pure presence, when the mind has stopped, the vibration stops. Once again, the mistake most people do is the happiness or the comfort or the energy that it gives merely by blocking the outward flow of energy via the senses, that people start staying there. They start enjoying vibration, and in that doing so, they lose the Guru Bhumi. They lose the point where they were supposed to be. And so one must be aware that just like Anhat Sabd and everything else, vibration is just a method of transition. You must not be lost in the vibration. Let it come and go, and do not lose the bhumi where you are supposed to meditate. Coming to your second question, I lost your second question, if you do not mind repeating.
Sure. So now I have one more question from your explanation, actually. You say don't lose your bhumi. So are you trying to say that, when vibrations start to happen, we might tend to, start noticing the vibration, and in the process, our sadhana has shifted from the bhumi towards an experience that I am getting now? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, exactly. We are all human beings. We are all touch, feel, see, hear creation. We are created to work in that method through the 5 sense organs.
Right. And that sort of explains my first question on distraction as well. Because if and this is precisely why I said, could it be a distraction? Because, when you start to feel things, I'm guessing people might drift to experiencing that and move away from the bhumi. So that is precisely what I wanted to check in terms of distraction. My second question is, vibrations, as you said, will keep happening within the body, right? It doesn't stop. There is vibration in universe at any given time. So that will happen. But then while this vibration is happening, you move towards stillness. So can you explain that phase a little bit? What is that phase?
So what I understand is you talked about vibration is everywhere, but we are not aligned in ourself even to our own vibration of the atoms, the molecules. So as our senses outward flow stops, the vibration is tuning our body, not the body, tuning ourself away from the body and mind. And there comes, as I understand, Makartar. And Makartar is a wire, is not a physical wire. It is something that attaches from the heart to the outside. So let's imagine you are vibrating. It's a very thin wire, and due to the motion, it is also vibrating. You can never land on it if both keeps vibrating. Once your vibration stops, you get aligned to the Makartar. But now it's more like you're on the train. You feel still because as the train shakes, you shake, in the sense that you are vibrating in the alignment with the train. So you do not feel that gross movement of the train. In the same way, when you ride on the Makartar, its vibration and you're riding on it, so you do not feel the vibration. Basically, it is a stillness. I'm not sure if I explained it to you correctly, and if someone else wants to jump in, please do so.
Yeah, I have, first of all, want to congratulate Subhashji for such a wonderful talk. Very, very well put together, explaining vibration. So it's very, very inspiring. What I have experienced in my meditation, I do have a lot of kampan. The body starts shaking and all that. And I want to wish it would go away, but it doesn't go away. But what I've noticed is within that kampan, the shaking, I feel still the stillness. As soon as I remember Sadguru, it can move, that's no problem. So I was thinking the other thing, Swarved talks about akshara and a nirakshara, shabda and a nishabda. So if we start talking about this or that, we can always going one to another and start creating the differences. To me, it appears that they may appear different, but there is no difference actually. Like an ocean, there are lots of waves up on a surface, but deep within is so calm. The ocean is one. So we can say there is an ocean with waves and we enjoy it. And but this distinction is just to understand. The truth is that you said Makartar, when it goes beyond your intellectual analyzing and understanding and all that, it's just such an amazing feeling that comes with a grace. When you remember Guru, Sadguru only as a Chetan Shakti, not even a person, it it blesses you with the grace. And that's when you experience beyond the knowledge. This is my experience.
Thank you. Thank you for so beautifully explaining what I was trying to convey. So thanks a lot. The way you explained it, I guess that further helps to respond to what Sikhaji was asking. As you said right now, that the way the sea is still underneath. So that is your part of Nih Shabd. Shabd is vibration. Vibration is in the Akshar Brahm. Akshar Brahm creates vibration, Prakriti leads to Srishti. And so we are all in vibration. But that Param Purus, that ultimate thing where we all dissolve, is a stillness. It's not vibrating, so we call it Nih Shabd. Shabd as in vibration, Nih Shabd, no vibration. So as the river merges in the sea, in this process, in the path towards the sea, the river makes so much sound and turbulence and whatnot. But when it merges in the sea, it loses its identity, loses the sound, the vibration, when it is lost in the Nishakt. Back to you, Neetaji.
Thank you so much, Shikhaji, for your questions, and Subhashji for answering the questions, again, citing examples to understand this subject further. And I also thank Hasmukhji for sharing your experience. I would like to ask if anyone has any other question. We can spend another 5 to 7 minutes, and then we will move to the next phase.
Gee, I have one more question if nobody else has a question.
Sure, Shikhaji, please
Yeah.
continue.
So, I want to understand a couple of things about vibration in human body. You know, sometimes if we run, if we run a long distance, if we ran very fast, and when we come down and rest and sit, we can feel the blood thumping in the brain. Is that a form of vibration? Like you can feel that blood flow in your brain, somewhere in your head. Is that a form of vibration?
No, based on my understanding, I would say no. That is not the vibration we are referring to or we are talking about. Because vibration is nothing physical. Nothing can reproduce it. It happens. So the other way to scientifically refute what you are saying would be that any person who runs very fast, sweats, has his blood moving around the veins, and in the temporal area, the veins become more prominent, they hear the pulse. So you are saying that it will be reproduced just in the physical realm as anything else. But no, vibration is not physical. There is no way you can produce it. It happens. It's a manifestation of your stillness. So in my understanding, that is not what will be called as vibration, the one we are discussing about in this moment, the kamp, the spandan, that is not when we get that vibration while running.
So, depending on the mind stage, then Subhashji, can vibration be rhythmic for some people and not so rhythmic for the others? Can people experience different forms of vibration when they are in sadhana?
Yes, absolutely. The same, that is the reason why I am discussing it. And I also discussed that it is not an indication of a spiritual superiority or anything as such. Rather, every person can experience it very differently. Some people experience it without knowing it. It depends on the purity of your soul. I have come across many sadhaks in my early days and years who never experienced vibration. And when you look at their face and talk to them, and you learn that, oh, their realization is beyond what I could imagine. So it is not a necessity, and it is not the vibration in the physical sense, the vibration as in the movement, like the string is moving, string is vibrating. That is not the vibration we are at all talking about or referring to. So yes, vibration can be perceived in multiple different ways. Yes, someone is saying something. So it could be just a humming sound for someone. It could be any kind of a rhythmic sound. Some people experience it as movement of the body. And there are many ways people experience it or share it. But once again, it is not exactly the vibration we think about in the real physical world.
Yeah, I have experienced that. When I move from word vibration, movement, to the word revelation, true vibration is revelation to me, and it just comes, and that has helped me to understand vibration. It's a revelation.
Once again, thank you, Hasmukhji. The way you are explaining it, it's beyond what I could have explained. Yes, vibration is revelation. It is not, I remember we used to discuss it. Some people try to create Kumbhak and Bhatrishika with Sudarshan Kriya, and I would see them and I would realize it is not something that you create. You cannot behave as if you are gasping for air or breathing fast as it happens to someone after running. This is not the same. They both may look like the same. And who are the two people I'm talking about? One who has ran 5 miles and is gasping for air versus someone who was sitting and doing certain kind of kriya, mimicking that movement. First of all, those two are not same. And third, we are not at all talking about any of those two, because vibration happens, comp happens, and it is a revelation so that you move fast, move along. It shows that yes, you are heading in some direction, but it should also stop. You must not be lost in it. And as I explained based on my knowledge, how being lost in vibration will be an impedance in your journey. Back to you, Netuji.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, and especially Hasmukhji. I really appreciate that. Sometimes in Amrit Vani, Swamiji also says, right, that अगर सुषुम्ना में कंप नहीं हुआ तो यह मानव शरीर किस काम है ना. तो I think there's something there and maybe needs to be understood and experienced. But I wanted to understand, like, I was talking to Uncle Ji, and he was saying that from the the entire existence has come about by mixture of two components. One is Akshar Kampan and the other is Parmanu. When the Akshar triggers reverberation, then the existence begins to start. And I think in one of the Hindi satsang, we had gone into very greater detail how the Panch Bhoot has emerged out of that intermixing, and also that the kampan starts from the Chetan kampan, and then there's a 5 dhwanis that happen: Niranjan, Alankar, Shakti, and Om, and all that, right? And then from there's 10 nads, anhad nads. So is this reverberation that you're talking about, is that connected with one of these things, or is that different? That was my question.
Thank you, Niranjan ji.
Ji.
Well, most of the time your questions are not questions, but they are answer in itself. So before even trying to answer it, correct me if I'm not answering it correctly. So see, the example I see it, when our body is burned, what remains of us? Other than ashes, everything converted into its molecular level, in its atomic level. And that atom which has electron, proton, neutron. So from quantum physics or the theory, so the body is made up of those atoms and molecules. And those atoms are made up of electron, proton, neutron, which are there because of the vibration due to Akshar Brahm. So if Akshar Brahm ceases, the vibration ceases. So your question is, are we talking about the same vibration? My understanding is that this vibration tells us that we are a part of this universe. We are not different from this universe. So everything is vibrating. It's just that our eyes cannot see it because it is at a very molecular level. Because if we are saying that everything is made up of atoms and electron, proton, or neutron, then everything is vibrating. Now, does that mean the vibration that we experience, as in my understanding, in this vibration, we are talking about the vibration of the Prakriti, every living being, everything and its existence. And so the vibration that we see or feel in the meditation, yes, it would be a manifestation of you losing those chit ki vrittiyan, you getting rid of those avguns, and the more you become finer, yes, you feel the same kind of vibration. That is the way I would think about it. Back to you, Niranjan ji.
Ji, thank you so much, Subhashi. I think you always make such a great attempt in responding to question and connecting the science and this together. And I think yes, you're right. It is about when we are in deeper meditation, like Hasmukhji was saying, you are you're becoming more and more still. Your mind is becoming more and more still, and then those things always exist, like you were saying. All of those vibrations exist, and then some of them you begin to actually experience. I think that's the way at least I understand theoretically, because unless one experiences, sometimes it may be hard to actually share that. But I can I don't know if NP uncle is on the phone or not. He was also saying that sometimes what happens is that the experiences will be vastly different for every sadhak, and that is why he was also saying that sometimes it is not good. It's good, like if somebody is experiencing something and then they are kind of having the conversation like that, but it is not like if something which one person is experiencing, the other person will experience the same thing. It will be very vastly different. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. But that is the way I understood. And also
Yes.
this reverberation explains that as the uh, the as the physicality becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and when it gets to a tiny atomic level, and that is where you begin to actually literally see that how those interact with the entire existence, reverberation that exists in the entire existence, uh, which which begins to fall into mystical category of science, where the most of the scientists will just say that, oh, there's a lot of mystical stuff that begins to happen there, and it's very, very hard to actually explain that using any kind of You can create a mathematical model, but it's even still people do not understand fully. So some of these things definitely are mystical and more experiential based. So it definitely gets into that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Niranjanji, I agree. And as usual, as I said, you always have your answers in your own questions. On that note, see, we have only 23 chromosomal pairs. And with the way they mix, none of us look alike, except the exception that we talk about. There is a twin for everyone in so and so number. If you remove that exception, only with 23 pair of chromosome, none of us look alike. In the same manner, when we experience things or when we have our experiences during meditation, yes, no two people have similar experience. I remember one of the sadhak talking about seeing Garjan, and he would get scared during meditation. So, as I'm saying it again, that no two sadhak may have the same experience because we are built differently. And we are not only built at the molecular or atomic level of electron, proton, neutron, but also comes our sanchit karma, what we are carrying from generation to generation, from our previous lives. And their reverberation, their repercussions will also determine our experiences. So as you said, that it is way beyond simplifying it, that all of us are made of atoms, which are electron, proton, neutron, and which are moving continuously due to Akshar Brahm. But the way it is mixed, once again, we are all totally made differently. We experience differently. And that experience is beyond the explanation at the physical or the molecular level, because this explanation with the intellect, with the physical realm, does not cover what we are carrying from lives after lives and birth after lives. Thank you. Back to you, Neetuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Subhaji. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Niranjanji, for your insightful questions as always. And thank you, Subhashji, for again explaining so wonderfully these responding to these questions and sharing your insights further. And I wish we could continue on this topic. It's been a very engaging and enriching discussion. I think there is a Mayaji had some question or wanted to share something. Let me quickly check if Mayaji, are you?
Ji, Neetu I'm not sure how much time it is. That's where I lower my.
Okay, we can spend another 2 minutes. Mayaji, we'll take your thought or your question and then we will move ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I really want to thank you for the, the details of satsang and experiences we are sharing here. Um, I think this forum where we share, it really helps us understand the, principle. Uh, but we shouldn't abide, like we shouldn't enjoy, that's the term Subhash is getting, right? But we shouldn't get lost also. What experience, like initial days, it took time for me to understand the colors I see is not out of depression, but there is Panchbhuta's color that one would experience, right? So we are supposed to do our duty. No matter how much knowledge we have, that knowledge is within us, right? It will reveal when the time will come. And these vibrations you can't create on your own. It is सहज योग, इसीलिए विहंगम योग को क्या बोलते हैं, सहज योग. सहज से ही चालू होता है वो. It just comes to you. And once it comes, do you have that ability to stop? When you run, your body runs, you could stop and those settle down, those vibrations, right? When you do kriya, you force kriya and vibration happens, after that kriya, it will get settled down. But this vibration is a spiritual vibration, happens with Guru's grace. And the way I have seen and shared and, experienced is Hasmukhji, Suhasji, everyone mentioned, it is a revelation. It reveals to you when you are ready. So, when we will be ready, that's the question. We need to continue our meditation, not to get lost with that, but come back and remind yourself that where is my bhumi and where should I focus, right? So that's what on the vibration. One quick question, if it could be handled here. I know in the process of that, those 8 chakras within the body, and I believe the chakras have vibration too. And being Sahaj Yoga, Vihangam Yoga is Sahaj Yoga, when time is there, we are ready. With Sadgurudeo, that happens. But I think even that is the stage of vibration where chakras are those lotuses in within the chakras. It opens. Vibration is still there. After all that, I think it's after the third level the vibration stops. Subhaji, I'm not sure the question to you. So yeah, I think this question has been um I think brought it like when to see that vibration to stillness. Stillness is fraction that we get during the process initial stages, but then the complete stillness, when does that happen?
So, Mayaji, first of all, thank you for literally summarizing our entire discussion in these few words about vibration. And in my understanding, the stopping of the vibration is not dependent on the stage of meditation. I have had people who started experiencing it and then it disappeared in the very first stage of meditation. And they started having different set of experiences. So if I'm answering your question correctly, the vibration has nothing much to do with the stage. The core I see is as you become more sukshma from subtle, the process will have some vibration, but it is independent of the stage of meditation. It could stop at any stage, and that is what I have to say. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Subhaji. Back to you, Nituji.
Thank you, Mayaji and Subhashji. I do see that Monica ji had her hand raised, so I would ask Monica ji if you can spend another 2 minutes and then we will
Yes.
wrap up and move to the next phase.
Yes. Jai Sadgurudev, Neetu thank you so
Jai
much.
Sadgurudev, Monica ji.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. Although I know the limitation of time and I didn't want to. So but I have just one question, which is really like over the years, I have heard about um, how we transcend, from the gross body, then to subtle body, going beyond the sensory organs, and leaving the body, mind, thoughts behind, experiencing something greater than that. And Subhaji did mention about how the stillness is the ultimate state, where uh, after the consciousness moves and stillness persists. So there I was just thinking, like, once you go to go through all these different um, stages of meditation, beginning with the vibration and losing the thoughts, and your sensory perception, going within, and rising, from there, reaching a point where you no longer have thoughts. Your mind is still, you are at your bhumi, and you do sense that stillness. I'm there. I have this little curiosity to know what that stillness would entail. Is it the this the mind is no longer there, and you're still. Is that the stillness of the mind? Where there is no mind, there is no thoughts, or is it just the calmness that you feel, or is it something like the time is running behind in the clock and you don't realize the time, and you open your eyes and you're like, okay, I thought it was just 10-15 minutes, but it's been more than like half an hour, and you're in that state. So I just want to understand what this stillness entails, and uh, if at all by default you reach there, how much does it persist, and you're back to your prakriti after a few minutes or an hour, where you could have a small argument with your kid, or you are just lose your mind a few hours down the line in the day for something else. The stillness has definitely gone away. And how do like yogis keep that stillness throughout? I just wanted to understand from Subhaji that what does the stillness you spoke about today really entails to. I'm not sure if my question will take a long time, but yes, any small like light on that will be helpful. So thank you so much, Neetuji, and back to Subhashi.
Thank you, Monica ji. Whenever you ask or talk about something, it is mainly experiential. So stillness, I do not think can be described in any words or language. It is something that can only be experienced. And when you reach that stage of stillness that we are talking about, that is the time you are unvarat, nisidin, athoyam, charopahar. You are always in that stillness. You are always in connection with that something. In other simpler languages, is that stillness is of your profound love, you knowing where I came from, and you realized where I have to go. And every moment you are struggling from this prakritic realm to stay connected to your origin. That is what the stillness would be. As you brought up that time passes by, you're looking at the watch. That is also a stillness, but in my meager understanding, I would say it's a physical stillness. It's that transient pleasure where your mana has stopped torturing you for a few moments. We do not realize, but we are a slave to our man. No matter what we want or what we think, most of the time, our man is overtaking us, except when we are doing what our man wants, like watching TV or a show that you like, then your mana will not go anywhere. But you said that after the meditation, maybe there will be an argument with my son, because, not argument, but whatever, but because your man transiently stopped and you are back in Prakriti. And when your man stopped, the concept of time, it's not really the time the way we calculate it, the way we see it, or we know to see it. So concluding my explanation would be, yes, we feel calmer, we feel stillness, but that is very momentary. That is the beginning. In the real stillness, it is beyond words, beyond love, passion, commitment. And in other words, as Virahani, as the beloved waits for the lover who is somewhere else, and any moment, every moment, she is thinking about that lover. In the similar manner, when you will get that stillness by dissolution of your soul into that Almighty or Param Purus, that stillness you would long for every second of your breath or your life. So those two things, according to me, are totally different. Back to you, Monica ji and Neetu ji.
Thank you,
जी
Monica ji.
जी
Thank you, Monica ji, for your question. And again, thank you, Subhash ji. And at this time, looking at the watch, I would again sincerely thank Subhash ji for the wonderful discourse today on this very unique topic of vibration in Vihangam Yoga meditation. And I thank all the participants for your active engagement. Together, we are laying a strong foundation to spread the transformative power of Vihangam Yoga. Now we have reached the last phase of today's satsang. I request everyone to sit down for Shanti Path. In Shanti Path, we chant for peace for everyone in this universe. May Sadgurudeo bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I would now request Devji to recite the last few lines of Shanti Path for us. Over to you, Devji.
Shanti Path. He Prabhu Shanti Sarupa Ho. Shanti Shanti Mai Shanti. Santi Jana Shanti Ho. Purna Shanti Mai Shanti. He Prabhu Shanti Pradhan Kara. Duraha Sarva Ashanti. Deva Sada Phala Shanti Maya. Shanti Shanti Sukha Shanti. Sadgurudeo Bhagwan Ki Jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Devji, for a soulful recitation of Shanti Path. I would like to thank all of you for joining today's satsang. I encourage everyone to ponder upon the topic we discussed today. I've also taken a note of the message in chat from Hasmukhji requesting another session by Subhashji on the grace from Sadgurudeo that I'll pass on to the organizers of Sunday Satsang. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Sulbhaji, Subhashji, Kritikaji, Mayaji, Shikhaji, Hasmukhji, Niranjanji, Monikaji, Devji, and for everyone else for their seva and active engagement in this session, and for the team behind this for organizing and coordinating this satsang. I pray to Sadgurudeo for peaceful and spiritual week ahead for all of us. See you all next Sunday at 9 a.m. EST on the same Zoom session. Have a wonderful day and week ahead. Jai Sadgurudeo.